Hi, my name is Natalie and I've been teaching and practicing Tantric meditations for the past 10 years. And I talk about these subjects on YouTube. I wanted to welcome all my new subscribers and I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the comments that you guys have been leaving. I've been reading them. I try and respond as much as I can, but it mainly opens my heart to see how many good men are actually doing this work and how it's helping them. So thank you for sharing your comments. And I actually wanted to talk today about something that someone wrote to me in one of the comments, and he said he's been doing the tantric masturbations and he feels good and he moves the sexual energy throughout his body until suddenly an intrusive thought comes into his mind and kind of brings down the sexual energy, and that kind of bums him out. And he asked me, what can I do with the intrusive thoughts that invade my body and my masturbation sessions? And the answer which I gave him, which is what I wanted to talk about here today, is that you could say that we do these tantric masturbations and meditations in order for the intrusive thoughts to come up and then to see them and deal with them and heal them. And you could also say that the specific intrusive thoughts that come up whilst you are doing the tantric masturbation are connected to something in your subconscious, something that has been stuck in your second chakra and that has been blocking you in life. So we want to trigger the intrusive thoughts that we have in our subconscious so that we can see them and heal them. As long as, if we don't trigger them, then we don't know that they're there, but they're still there and they affect us, and then they can cause all kind of different dysfunctions in sexuality and in life. If we're doing inner work and we want to open up our subconscious and bring light to all the dark places inside of us that we were never willing to deal with or to face, or that we couldn't because we didn't have the strength or the tools or the power to do it, now is the time. So when you masturbate, yes, it's, in a tantric way, it can help you work with the sexual energy in a different way. It can help you to learn how to move the sexual energy inside your body, how to transmute the sexual energy into different energies and use it for good instead of just wasting it out every time you orgasm and ejaculate. But it is also a very, very powerful tool for emotional work. And it triggers all the dark places inside of us that have to do with our sexuality. And those are the intrusive thoughts that will bring the sexual energy down the minute they come up. The full tantric experience, if you're doing a tantric masturbation or meditation with yourself, would be, make yourself horny, touch yourself, bring the energy up, start circulating it in the body. But then the minute an intrusive thoughts comes into your mind, stop the masturbation, stop touching your penis, leave the sexual energy alone for a second, and dive into that intrusive thoughts, into the emotion, the negative emotion that it probably came with. That is the point of the exercise. The point is not to orgasm, it's not to ejaculate, it's not to have better masturbation sessions or better sexual sessions. This isn't the point in Tantra. The point is to heal ourselves and to heal the dark places inside ourselves that we are not aware of and that are blocking us in our life. So you could say that we are intentionally raising the sexual energy, and by working with the sexual energy in a different way, we are allowing all the emotional blockages that live inside of our subconscious to start coming up. And then when they come up, we want to catch them and we want to dive into them and see what's going on there. What is the pain? What is the thought? Where did it come from? What else do I feel when I think about this thing? Why did it come up in the middle of masturbation? There's a reason that that specific thought came up now. It's probably a thought that you don't usually allow yourself to think or to dwell upon, and you immediately kind of shut it off. And in masturbation, in tantric masturbation, you have two choices. At one point, intrusive, negative thoughts are going to come up. What do I do in that moment that they come up? in life in general, I probably suppress it and ignore it and kind of act like it's not there so that I can keep on doing the thing that I'm doing. So if you're doing tantric masturbation, but you're not actually coming with an intention of healing, whenever an intrusive thought comes up, you're just going to ignore it and then quick, think about something horny and sexual and then raise it up again and you feel good about yourselves. But you just suppressed a huge lump of pain that came up, which is what you've been doing your whole life. So if you want to continue doing that, that's fine. I wouldn't call that kind of masturbation tantric, and that's fine also. Not everyone has to do tantric masturbations. You can just masturbate. You can use techniques and tools from the world of Tantra, meditation, and yoga in order to enhance and improve your masturbation experience. There is nothing wrong with that. If you do want to do it the tantric way because you feel you have a lot of emotional blockages in your second chakra that are preventing you from having good, healthy relationships in your life, that are preventing you from having good, healthy sexual interactions in your life. If you feel that you have emotional blockages in your second chakra, and that is one of the reasons why you approached the tantric way, then when you're doing the tantric masturbation and these thoughts are coming up, that's jackpot. That's like finding gold. You immediately stop the masturbation. You lie back on your back. You lie down flat, like dead man's pose, shavasana in yoga. You stop touching your penis and you explore the intrusive thought that came up and the emotions that are beneath those thoughts. So for example, if suddenly in the middle of your tantric masturbation, you started to think about your landlord and you owe rent and, you know, why am I thinking about my rent when I'm masturbating? It's because deep down inside of you, you have a primal fear of being homeless, of not being able to pay your bills or your rent, of not being able to fulfill your needs on a very physical survival level. And that is a fear that maybe you don't allow yourself to actually feel and to actually deal with in your day-to-day life. So when you're relaxed and the sexual energy is coming up, that thought comes up. Also, it is a thought that is related to the first and the second chakra, so that's why it comes up. So then I want to stop the masturbation and I want to breathe into the sensations in my body that come up when I feel that fear. And I want to explore, when else did I feel this in life? When is the first time in my life that I had that survival fear that I won't have a place to live, I won't have enough money for food, or, you know, the landlord is kind of like a father figure who's going to tell me off because I wasn't okay. Explore that emotion that came up with the intrusive thoughts. Once you do that, maybe you see the inner child and you see yourself as a child in childhood, having to deal with a lot of survival issues that you should not have been dealing with as a child. And then you want to hug the child, and maybe you want to cry with the child, and you want to have this emotional release. And then if you still want to keep on masturbating, go ahead. But that is not the point of this exercise. The point is to trigger the deep emotional blockages that are living inside of us and that are blocking our energy and preventing us from living the life that we actually want and need and can live on this sacred planet Earth. So that's a little bit about what to do when intrusive thoughts come up in the middle of your masturbation session. I will talk about it more in my future videos, and this is also a good way of looking at the emotional work in Tantra. It does have to do with the sexual energy, but it's basically activating the sexual energy in a very specific way so that we can trigger all these emotional blockages that we are not aware of and do the emotional work with them and not address them as something that is bothering me from coming, because these emotional blockages, that's the inner child, it's our pain, it's the things that we've been carrying around with us our whole life, and it is not less important than you orgasming. It is so much more important than anything else you can do in this moment. So that's me. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for listening. I do private sessions online with the emotional work and the mental work, and I also give tips and guidance on how to do the physical work. So if that interests you, the details are below. Thank you again for watching my video and for listening. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, just thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next video.